My name is Hyung Koo Lee, and I'm from the Bank of Korea. So I'm very happy to give up my presentation, to have an opportunity to give up my presentation about the Bank of Korea's CBDC research today. So I would like to share the Bank of Korea's CBDC research. My presentation today mainly consists of two parts. First, I'm going to provide kind of overview of what we have done, and in the next part should be our digital currency pilot test that we are now doing, and also we are going to real world transaction test from during the second quarter of this year. I mean, from the April 1st. So for the second part, I'm going to I will kind of in detail to talk about our digital currency pilot test, including the key features of the project and the system design, the digital currencies that will be issued, and lastly, the scope of the project. Let me move on to our the Bank of Korea CBDC research. So at first, the Bank of Korea had focused on the retail CBDC. Between 2017 and 2019, we conducted a series of tests to check whether the DLT can be applied to the payment and settlement systems. Also, we formed a kind of task force to publish a paper that covered about the general and overall issues about the retail CBDC. In 2020, we have established a dedicated CBDC research unit, and since then we ramped up research into CBDCs. Of course, with a primary focus on retail CBDC. Our CBDC simulation project was carried out in two phases. The first phase was in 2021, and the second phase was 2022. Following this simulation project, we, the Bank of Korea, carried out an extended project in collaboration with 14 commercial banks in Korea. Beyond this technical research, we also have conducted in-depth research on legal and institutional issues regarding the CBDC. Also, we analyzed and published some academic papers about CBDC's potential impact on our financial systems. So let me explain the outcome of our simulation project. Initially, in 2021, we implemented the entire stages of the retail CBDC lifecycle, including issuance, circulation, and redemption. We developed a system, of course, based on the DLT. The figure in the left shows our mock-up configurations of mock-up digital wallet we developed. For user convenience, we designed our mobile wallet quite similar to the usual banking app that many people are using these days. Building on this, in 2022, we expanded our testing to check the technical feasibility of advanced features, such as conducting transactions offline in environments lacking internet or network connections. The figure in the right shows our offline CBDC payment process. We assume the situation of an internet connection outage on both sides, a sender and a recipient. In this case, we can continue our transaction by NFC or Bluetooth functions of our devices, such as mobile phones or IC cards. For this project, we signed kind of MOU with Samsung Electronics, which is a Korean company. This simulation test confirmed that both the basic and advanced functionalities performed as anticipated. However, they also highlight further areas for enhancement, such as data privacy protections. So let me move on to our future direction for CBDC research. And based on our experience and lessons from previous research, we have decided to expand our research scope toward the wholesale CBDCs. That is, we will focus on wholesale CBDC research as well as we will conduct advanced research on retail CBDCs. As part of our wholesale CBDC research projects, we have been preparing the pilot project, and I will explain in detail, but the main purpose of our pilot project is to explore a future monetary system. So this project is based on the unified ledger concept proposed by BIS. And we are going to explore potential use cases for digital currencies, which will be tokenized deposit that will be issued by our commercial banks. In addition to our wholesale CBDC research, we are going to keep going our retail CBDC projects, such as to focus on the advanced technology research, including offline CBDC payments and data privacy protections. Let me move on to our second part, which will be explanation about our digital currency pilot project. So this is the logo for our project. We have named our project as the digital currency test project Hangang. Hangang means the river of Korea, which flows across the Korean peninsula. We named our project as the project Hangang because we thought that the currency and payments serve as kind of economic lifeline, which much like the river the Han River, which flows our Korean peninsula. So our project aims first to lay a foundation for innovative payment and services. Second, to explore efficient solutions for processing transactions on emerging financial products, such as token securities. This project is a joint work between the Bank of Korea and Korean financial authorities in cooperation with the BIS. We have collaborated with the BIS to design our architecture and have jointly published a paper. In that paper, we propose a model for future monetary system where commercial banks will issue their tokenized deposits and wholesale CBDC will be utilized for interbank settlement. So as you can see, there are this is the figure in the left shows our CBDC network architecture, and there is one CBDC system and one connected outside system. Of course, there can be multiple outside systems, but for the sake of simplicity, only one outside system is presented in the figures. And wholesale CBDC issued by the Bank of Korea, of course, will act like kind of reserve, and only financial institutions can hold the CBDCs. Here, DC1, we named DC1 as we named tokenized deposits as DC1 here. And DC1 issuance will be only limited to commercial banks, as it is designed to follow the features of current deposits. Here, DC2, which will be the tokenized e-money, is intended to accommodate non-bank participation. Considering the difference between banks and non-banks, such as the regulation intensity, a DC2 issuer who will be mostly a non-bank is required to hold an equal amount of CBDCs corresponding to the value of digital currencies they issue. DC3 can be issued on the connected outside system that would be actively emerging in the future. However, it must be linked to the CBDC system through the DC2. That means to issue DC3, the issuer should lock the same amount of DC2 in the CBDC system. So in the case of DC1, liabilities are not transferred between the banks. in the same manner as with the commercial bank deposits. So we for this DC1 we will follow the Bonnet-ish process. As I told earlier, the foundational concept of our pilot project aligns closely with the unified ledger concept proposed by the BIS. We believe that the project should investigate the potential benefits and challenges of embedding programmable features into digital currency. The functionality is expected to enable real-time, immediate settlement of complex transactions and atomic settlements across assets. In addition to our domestic project, on the international level, we are collaborating in Project Agora along with the BIS, the IIF, and the 7 other major central banks. So I would like to briefly introduce our timeline. In 2023, we conducted an in-depth review of legal and institutional issues through close discussions with relevant stakeholders. And during 2024, we developed and built the necessary systems and conducted the proof of concepts. Finally, in the second quarter of this year, we are going to invite up to 100,000 general users to participate in our project, to enabling them to use the tokenized deposit in real-world transactions. So our POC tests are based on the idea that CBDCs and digital currencies could support the digital transformation of the economy. So we believe that to ensure the stable and sustainable development of the digital token economy, tokenized payment instruments need to be introduced as well. By doing so, we believe that the DBP process can be proceeded accordingly, and we will reduce the kind of settlement risk related with the digital assets. So these 3 experiments were conducted in virtual environments, including the DBP of digital assets on the connected outside systems. Also, we carried out the digital asset IPO test. Also, we issued kind of the securities on the CBDC system to check the DBP in our system. So I will introduce our real-world experiments with the digital currency. So general users will be invited to participate in our experiments. And users will be able to open their digital wallets through the participating bank's mobile app. Once issued, the wallet will allow users to convert their current deposit to the tokenized deposit and to vice versa. For usability of our tokenized deposits, people will be able to use for their tokenized deposits for purchases at designated stores. Payments will be made via QR codes, and unlike traditional payment services, merchants will be able to receive funds instantly without any transaction fees. This feature is expected to benefit both beneficiaries, both businesses and consumers, by providing a more efficient payment methods. In addition to enable the public to directly experience the utility of digital currency, our real-world transaction test is intended to improve the world. This is based on the idea that CBDCs and digital currencies can contribute to promoting innovation to improve current financial services through its programmable functionalities. So our project will be carried out in collaboration with local governments, including Seoul City. We aim to integrate its voucher programs to test and test the real-world applicability. Currently, we believe that government subsidy systems face several challenges, including high fees and complex settlement processes. However, we believe that digital currency can help address these problems by utilizing its programmability. For example, we can set specific payment conditions, such as eligible locations, items, and expiration dates. Payments will be automated, reducing fees and simplifying settlements. Also, verification process can be automated. As a result, false claims can be significantly reduced. Lastly, we are going to, if our test shows the successful results, then we will be able to build a new public voucher system based on our digital currencies. It will mean that it will eliminate any kind of system duplications and fragmentation, leading to greater overall efficiency. Also, lastly, traditionally, voucher users had to carry their paper vouchers or physical cards, but in this test, they don't have to do that. What they only have to do is to bring their mobile phones. Lastly, to make our real-world test possible, we try to implement necessary legal and regulatory measures. For example, to establish a clear legal basis, we went through the application of financial sandbox regimes. In addition, to ensure the legitimacy of contracts between issuers and digital currency holders, we make the commercial banks to synchronize the related data in the CBDC system and their own ledgers. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you.